Hi, it's February 19th, 1:10 p.m. and I'm going to Google how to hover over an image or a link or a div area and have a sound play. So I am on this All Web Code Design Corporation. It's www.allwebco-templates-com/support/capital S underscore audio underscore on mouse over.htm. So this says cross-browser hover HTML sound for mouse over events that can be used on text links, images, or a div section on an HTML web page. Works in all web browsers and also in older versions of Internet Explorer 7 and 8 by using the fallback BG Sound HTML code. See notes at the bottom of this page. Mouse over sound examples. These examples include sound for a link hover, image hover, or div area mouse over. You should hear a short click when you hover over any of these three elements. So I'm going to hover, and since I have my headphones on, you may not, you may or may not hear that click. I can move the speaker a little closer to me and maybe you'll hear it. I'm going to hover over the image. Can you hear that? I'm going to hover over the div area. Okay, so let's go on ahead and try this code and see if we can really get it to work. Let's see, step one, download the hover sound files. I might try my own file. Let's see. Oh, maybe I should download the hover sound files. Can't hurt, right? Put it on my desktop, save it. Right click it. It's a zip file. Extract all. Let's see what they're giving us. Hopefully I'm not giving myself a virus or something crazy. Set destination. Extracted to users, homes, documents, sound on mouse over. I wanted to put this on my desktop. Okay. Show extracted files when complete extract. Okay, I've got a sound image. I have a JavaScript. I have a click.mp3 file. I have a click.ogg file. And then I have HTML code. Okay, let me right click HTML code, edit with Notepad++. Let's see, this is a text file. HTML hover sound code for a link, an image, and a div. Add this code to the head section of your HTML page before the head. Add this code to the body of your page. Paste this code near the bottom of your HTML page. So let's do this. Let's change the name of this text file. Let's make life easy. And actually, I've got other things going on here that I could get rid of so that I only have one or two tabs that I'm looking at in my Notepad++. Okay, I'm going to change the name of this by going to Notepad++ file and rename. And on my desktop, I'm going to rename this hover sound.html. Now I'm going to take this file and I'm going to convert it from a text file to a web page file. So I gave it the extension HTML. Save. Okay, so first off, you see the colorization changes. Oh, that's weird. And these can be notes. Let's see if I can remember how to do notes. So I've created these as comments, and I'll create this as a comment. Okay. Add this section, add this code to the head section of your HTML page before the head. So let's back up these notes a little. And let's create our normal snippets to start a web page. So you have your HTML opening tag, you have your head opening tag. There's our script inside the head, and this note says add this code to the body of your page. So here, let's end our head right there And here, let's start our body. And of course, we want to change this to a note or a comment. So we're going to go ahead and put those tags around that to create it, make it a comment. Add this code to the body. Okay, so there's the body. Is there any more notes? Paste this code near the bottom of your HTML page. So again, we're going to turn this into a comment by putting this in the beginning of it and this in the end. Okay, so this is going to be near the bottom. So here is the bottom. So we're going to put our end of our body tag here and our end of our HTML tag there. Alright, and I'm going to save this file. Save as on desktop, hoversound.html, save. Okay. So I've got the hoversound.html right here, as you can see with the Google icon. We've got the click.ogg file, which is a file that came in that zip file. Click.mp3 file. The sound. Let's right click this and hit edit with notepad so we can look at what the JavaScript says. This is a JavaScript file. Function play clip. And in the entire curly braces that go from the top here all the way to the bottom, we have an if condition. If navigator.app name equals Microsoft Internet Explorer and navigator.app version .index of MSIE7, then we have an exclamation equals -1. I don't really know how to explain that instruction. I'm just going along with it. I haven't even tested it yet. I'm doing this all for the first time as I make this video, which is probably not a good idea, but I'm doing it anyway. And this I know is the OR symbol, or navigator.app version.index of MSIE8. So I guess this is asking if you're dealing with Microsoft Internet Explorer 7 or Microsoft Internet Explorer 8, then you have this exclamation equals -1. Again, I don't know how to explain that. Then we have another if document.all, then document.all.sound.source equals click.mp3. Okay, else var audio equals document.getElements by tag name audio, and then you've got this it looks like an array index symbol with the straight brackets with a 0 inside, and then audio.play. I wish I knew how to explain that in plain English, but I don't. And that's our JavaScript, which is sound-mouseover.javascript. And here in HoverSound, we have our script linking from the hoversound.html to this sound-mouseover.javascript. So script type equals text / JavaScript source equals this sound-mouseover.js, which is this. That's the link to that. And then here in the body, we have a link. Let me run this. Let me minimize this. Let me run my hoversound.html in Chrome. This is this page that I just basically created. I've got a broken image. I am hearing the clicking noise as I click over this div, as I click over what's supposed to be an image, and as I click over the link. So I see the functionality working. I see the functionality working, and we're not dealing with this page anymore. We're dealing with this page. So let's see why our image is broken. Image source equals pics sound image.jpg, and right here we downloaded this zip file, and the name of this, if I right click and go to properties, is just sound-image.jpg. So the reason this is broken is because our path to the image is incorrect. We have to get rid of This directory name pics and a forward slash. We need to back out of that so that we have the image source going from here to here equals sound-image.jpg. Okay, so now when I save this and I come over here and refresh the page, we should get the picture of this flower. And we actually have. So now I see the functionality, which is pretty cool. Mouse over sound link, image hover, and div. So this is cool. So now let's see if I can incorporate this into my own thing. If I, did I already do this? I would right click on the page itself. Yeah, that's what this is. What am I talking about? All right, so let's go over this page that I just created. There's the HTML tag that starts it. In the head, we have a link that links us to a JavaScript file, which gives us this action of making a noise when we hover over three different things, a link, an image, or a div. End of the head, here's the body. We have this first thing we have right here is the text link, where you see mouse over sound link with the words. What would be nice is that we have a break tag here, but to separate it even more, it is forcing the image on the next line, but maybe we would rather have a little more space. So we can add a couple other break tags, or we could enclose this in its own area so that it will have a certain padding and margin to not be on top of each other like this. But until I do something like that, I can just use 3 break tags and that'll be good enough. So that moved my image away from my text link. Now let me go to the bottom of this image and get a 3 break spaces between that and this div. Here is the image link with the flower, and I'm going to have 3 break tags underneath that, so then when I save that and refresh the page, see how now I have a gap in between each thing. This is only to show functionality. Alright, so to review again, there's our text link. A href equals about.htm, but I don't, aref equals about.htm. On mouse over equals play clip, and the words mouse over sound link are what we hover over, and then we have 3 break tags to give us 3 line spaces. When I click on this, however, the web page is not found because I don't have a web page called about.htm on my desktop here. Okay, so I could just as easily make this href anything else in the world that I want. I could put www.google.com as what that link opens, and then if I refresh this page, actually I don't want to look at this anymore. I want to just look at what I created from it. Okay, here we go. Now when I click this, it's still making the noise. I will change the link text to mouse over sound link. This takes you to Google. Okay, so I refresh this, and then I refresh this. So now you see how my inner text, mouse over sound link, this takes you to Google. I click it. This web page not found. Okay, what else do I want to do? I think I want to say target equals, I have to give it a target, equals underscore blank. All right, let's try it again. Let's try my link again. Aref equals www.google.com. Maybe I should give it the complete http://. There we go. Now it's a complete web page. On mouse over equals play clip. So on mouse over it's going to call the play clip function that our JavaScript here, play clip function, it's calling this function for us. Target equals blank means that this is going to open up Google. Now that I've given the proper internet address for Google and given it a target of where to open Google, which is target equals underscore blank, it should open Google in a new tab. So let me go back, let me refresh this page, and let's try it again. This should open Google in a new tab, which there you go. Okay, so we've got a link that actually works, and it's making this noise every time you hover over it. You might think that's a strange thing. Why would you want that? Well, you might not want to just make a clicking noise. You might want to give a direction, a verbal direction to the user if they hover over something. You might want this to be a quiz question, and if they hover over the question, they can verbally hear the answer. There's different things you might want to do this, or you might want to hover over something and play a song. I don't really know how long this will play, but we'll experiment with something other than a little click. And the same thing with this image link right here. Mouse, let's see, let me finish this code. Mouse over sound link, this takes you to Google. There's the end of the link itself, the regular text link, and here's 3 break tags to give us the spaces. This is an image link, which means we have the regular link on the outside with an image link on the inside. So again, the beginning of our regular link tag, aref equals about.htm. We do not have an about.htm. What I could do is I can create another web page right now. So I'm going to double click to make a new tab. I'm going to hit File, Save As. Again on the desktop, I'm going to save this as hello.html. So now we're going to create a brand new web page. To do that, let's create our opening and closing HTML web page tags. Let's create our open and closing head. Let's create our opening and closing body. And let me stick something. Oops, I forgot the ending of my body tag there. Let's just, for the sake of argument, just say something like we're going to use an H1, which is a header tag. It's the largest header sized header tag. We don't even need to style it. And I'm just going to say, hello there, you. Okay, so if I take this hello there, you, and run it in Chrome, this is all we got. Not a big deal. If you want to go in the head and create a style, just for the sake of creating a style, you could go in those style tags and you can put the H1 and the curly braces, and then you can say color green. Okay, so now when we save this and refresh the page, our hello there is in green, if you can see that. That might not be what you want. You might want to make it red. Save it and refresh it. Okay, I'm not going to go into any specific wonderful extra page. My only point is, now that I've created a hello.html external page, I am going to make this flower open it. So let me go back to the hoversound.html. Here is the image tag. Well, it's actually a link. It's a regular link. Aref equals about.html. We do not have an about.html, but we do now have a hello.html. So now we're going to open the hello.html by using the image inside. Aref equals hello.html on mouse over equals play clip. Again, we are going to call the play clip JavaScript file, external JavaScript file. Here's our image tag right here. Image source equals sound-image.jpg, which is our flower here. Width equals 125, height equals 125, border equals 0, alt equals image. We could also give that a title so that we get a tooltip. Title equals flower. and we save that and we refresh the page. Now when I hover over this flower, I get the click for the on mouse over that calls play clip, and I also get the title, which gives me the word flower popping up. Alright, let me do the finish up the image tag right here. Alt equals image, title equals flower, and the end A right here is ending the link. Then we have 3 breaks. So we're saving this, we refresh the page, I get the noise. If I stay over it, I get the tooltip. If I click on it, hello there you. Well, notice the hello there you opened right over top of the original page. If that's how you want to do it, that's fine, but then you have to hit this back button to get back to the regular. So you can go back and forth and toggle between those 2 pages, or we can do with this flower the same thing we did with the Google. We can have this beginning link tag, aref equals hello.html on mouse over equals play clip, and then right before the ending greater than sign, we can put target equals underscore blank. So now we've given the link another thing to do. Instead of opening it on top of the current page, it will open in a new tab. So let's try that. Click here, opens a new tab, hello there you. Now you can just toggle between the tabs. So the choice is completely up to you if you want to have it open in a new tab or if you want to have it open on top of itself and then just use your browser's arrows back and forth. But that's how that functionality works. Okay, so I went over the text link, I went over the image link. The 3 BR tags gives us the space, and let's go to the last thing. This is a div. Div on mouse over equals play clip. Again, it's calling the function play clip from the sound mouse over JavaScript, that external file. Style, we gave this div a style right here. We could do this div in one of 2 ways. We can put the style in its opening div tag, and here's the ending div tag. We can put the style there, or we can give this div an ID, like, I don't know, ID equals 1 or whatever, and then we can put that up here in our style. Oh, I didn't put a style in this one. In our head, we've got a script tag, but if we also wanted to, we could put a set of style tags like that, and we can put that style here if we wanted to. Oh, that needs the ending thing. Okay, so that's one way that you could do it. You could put it in the head, or you could put it right here, right here. Style equals border. We've got this CO1 pixels of solid. That CO must be a type of gray. If I changed that type of gray to orange, if I can spell, and change that pixels from 1 to 7, then save it and refresh the page, you can see we've now given that div some style right in its opening tag. It's got a text of line of center, it's got a width of 250 pixels, and it's got a padding of 8 pixels. So if I wanted to, I could say div ID equals div 1, and let's see, div ID equals div 1 here, and then go up to my style tag and hit pound, because that means ID, and then in these curly braces take all of the style that was here, right click it, copy it, and paste it right in there. div 1, border orange 7 pixels solid, background color that, text align center, width 250 pixels, padding 8 pixels, and then take this whole style tag, style equals, and everything inside the double quotes, and delete it. And let's see if we refresh the page, and we did not lose our style at all. It didn't change our div. Okay, so that basically shows you how giving something an ID and then putting something in style tags, it puts the style in style tags here and makes this easier to look at, this div ID. Div ID equals div1 on mouse over equals play clip, and then the words inside of the div just says mouse over sound div area, which you see right here, and then there's a break tag here, which I'm not really sure why is. Let me take that break tag out and see how that changes this when I refresh the page. It doesn't do anything, so I'm kind of confused why they put a div there. Unless you want to put other things in the div, maybe they put the break tag there so if you do want other things to go in here, it'll already bring the new elements underneath this text. Okay, now here we have an audio tag. It says paste this code near the bottom of your page. I showed you the three elements. I showed you this text link element, this image link element, and this div element. And you can definitely hear, at least I can hear, the clicking sound every time we go over those. Down here we have an audio tag, and it says source src equals click.mp3, which is right here to the left on my desktop. This is what we unzipped out of that zip file. And then we have the second source src equals click.ogg, which is right here, again, what we unzipped, and then the end of the audio tag. Here we have div ID equals sound div, and then inside that div we have this tag that says BG sound ID equals sound. So I'm not really sure how to explain that, but it is part of what is making this work. And end of body and end of HTML. If I took this and commented this out, which I'm not sure at this moment how to explain this, and refreshed it and refreshed the page, this is still working. I still hear the clicks. This, I believe they said the BG sound had something to do with Internet Explorer. I think that was in the original web page that I got rid of. I should have kept it open so that we could read the details. But I'm pretty sure BG sound, let's see, is there BG sound in here? Function play clip. I think it has to do something to do with Internet Explorer, that it's a fallback. So since it's a fallback for another browser, I can just leave this here, even though I don't use Internet Explorer. Okay, now I've went over this external page. I went over how this opens Google. I didn't have what this does. This is just a div that causes, it's not a link. It's not causing anything to open. It's just, let's say if you had 3 or 4 sections to your page. Let's say this was a page for like little kids to learn the names of something. In this div, you might have a picture of a block, and then as the child hovers over the block, instead of hearing this clicking noise, you can hear a voice say block. You know what I mean? So like these things that we're doing seem kind of like ridiculous. Why would you want to do this? But if you just get creative and use your imagination and think, well, what could I use that for if I were to hover and hear something? Let's say I wanted to hear a song just by hovering over something. Let's see. Obviously, we have to have an mp3 file and possibly an OGG. Let's see how this works if we only have an mp3. Let's see if I have an mp3 in my music. Well, actually I do. Let me grab my son's dubstep.mp3 and copy it and paste it right here on my desktop. Okay, there's dubstep.mp3. Let's change our audio source from click.mp3. Let's change it to dubstep.mp3, and it's capitalized, so I'm going to capitalize it here and make sure I'm spelling it right. And I'm not going to change the click.ogg. Well, maybe I should. Even though I don't have a dubstep ogg file, like I said, I want to see if this works anyway, even without having the ogg file yet. Alright, so let me refresh the page here. And it's not doing it. Let me go to my JavaScript and see if there's... in my JavaScript, it does actually have something about mp3, and it's got click.mp3. So let's change this to dubstep.mp3. Now let's save that and see, refresh this and see what happens. Oh, not working. Not working. Is there any other place talks about the mp3? Let me make sure this is working. Counter problem while playing the file. Okay, maybe that's a corrupted mp3 file. Let me go back to my music and see. Yeah, that may be a corrupted file for some reason. Let me try this one. I just listened to this one. Okay, this one works. This is voice037.mp3. I want to rename that to AJ. AJ.mp3. Alright, so I can figure out what happened to this one. Shortly. I still have it in here. I'll figure out what happened to that file. The file got corrupted somehow. So now I've got AJ.mp3. So now let me make those changes in my JavaScript. So now instead of dubstep.mp3, I'm going to say aj.mp3. And I'm not really positive if this needs to be capitalized, but this one is, so I'm going to do it just to be safe. aj.mp3 is what the document sound source is. Let me go to my hover sound and go to the bottom and put that there. And I'm going to say aj.ogg. Whoa. And if it doesn't work, then I'll try to convert it to an ogg file. I can have an mp3 change to an ogg file with my Audacity here, because when you this lets you create multiple types of files. Okay, let's refresh this. Now let me see. Oh, that worked. And let's see this one. And of course, if it worked for those two, it's going to work for this. Now I see while one is running, you can't click on the other ones because it's busy playing. But that's funny. Okay. The only thing I need to do is I need to go back to that page because right now we're dealing with one single sound for every single hover event. I want to be able to change this functionality so that when I hover over one thing, it'll give me a particular sound. When I hover over a different thing, it'll give me a different sound, and so on and so forth. I want to have three different sounds that play with this hover event. So I'm going to stop this video right now. I'm going to go back to that original page. I'm going to make those changes in the code, and then I'll do another video that just shows those particular changes in the code when you're dealing with more than one audio snippet.